Science, religion, at war for thousands of years.
Michael Faraday is universally acknowledged as one of the greatest physicists of all time. He was especially gifted in scientific experimentation, particularly in developing the new sciences of electricity and magnetism. He discovered electromagnetic induction and introduced the concept of magnetic lines of force. He invented the generator and made many other key discoveries and inventions. Two basic units, one in electrolysis, one in electrostatics, are named in his honor. He also made many key contributions in the field of chemistry. In other work, he isolated chlorine through electrolysis, that is, breaking down molecules into elements by running electrical current through a liquid solution, and discovered benzene. His work led directly to discoveries in thermodynamics and electromagnetism by James Joule and James Clerk Maxwell. Most terms commonly used in electricity were named by Faraday: electrolysis, anode, cathode, electrolyte, ion. The farad and Faraday are named for him. He was the first to measure quantities of electricity using the galvanometer. He gave us the visual idea of field, so important to modern physics. Two laws of electrolysis were established by him. He also investigated the effects of electricity on light and showed that magnetism can alter the plane of polarized light. No one before him had liquefied carbon dioxide, chlorine, ammonia, or hydrogen sulfide. Faraday's methods made him an important predecessor to Lord Kelvin in the field of cryogenics, the production of very low temperatures. Yet this great man was one of the most humble and sincere Christians one could ever find. His family was desperately poor, but deeply spiritual, members of the Sandemanian sect, an offshoot of the Scottish Presbyterian Church, a small fundamentalist church whose teaching included an emphasis on God's creation as purposeful and harmonious, designed for man's well-being. He had an abiding faith in the Bible and in prayer. Unlike Newton, however, he made little attempt to harmonize his science with his biblical faith, supremely confident that the two were both based on divine truth and were necessarily in agreement. He was very regular and faithful in the various ministries of his church, both public and personal. Faraday's scientific achievements, among the greatest in history, sprang from his religious faith. As a lifelong member of a sect called the Sandemanians, he believed that nature substantiates the existence of its creator. Because one God created the world, all of nature must be interconnected as a single whole, he believed. Therefore electricity and magnetism must be interlinked. This view of nature was the very view emphasized by the Sandemanians. Key to Faraday's thought was the idea that objective reality must judge every theory, no matter how elegant and sophisticated. If just one discrepancy was found between theory and nature, the theory must be modified or rejected. Michael served as a lay preacher in the Sandemanians throughout his life. His faith gave him the courage to turn down a government request that he develop poison gases for use in the Crimean War. Faraday's work propelled him into the limelight. By 1826 he was head of the Royal Institution, founded by Benjamin Thompson, to provide scientific education for the masses. Offered the presidency of the Royal Society, Faraday flatly refused, as he also refused the offer of a knighthood. He did not believe Christ or the apostles would accept these worldly honors. He fully believed in the official doctrine of his church, which said, "The Bible, and it alone, with nothing added to it nor taken away from it by man, is the sole and sufficient guide for each individual, at all times and in all circumstances. Faith in the divinity and work of Christ is the gift of God, and the evidence of this faith is obedience to the commandment of Christ."